Hello everyone, this is Ron. Welcome to another video, and in today's presentation or video I'm going to try to explain that how stats work in any game and how it is going to actually work in the reality. And honestly guys, there is a lot of complex math behind the scene, but guess what, I'm not going to talk about math today because I'm learning this thing in this semester in my machine learning course. So I will be sharing whatever the things that I understood already. It is of course not going to be foolproof or high end, but the basic level understand. I'm going to use some slides from a particular channel. I'm going to give the channel name in the screen. It's a great channel. Feel free to go ahead and subscribe and show some support. So the first slide that I'm using, and I'm kind of added some extra information to explain this thing in more easily. So how this thing works, on the left side, this one, let's just say this is a gameplay. This is the actual gameplay that is going to happen in the screen that you will experience on your device. It can be auto or it can be manual. That's optional, but it's a gameplay. Now in the middle, this is your stat. Your stat means not only your attack, crit, defense, HP stat, but all your stats. That means whatever characters you are having, that is also kind of a data. That is also a kind of an information. So your stat, it is not actually your stat. It should be different. We should change it to your data. Your data. We need to change it to your data because it is the data about your characters. How many characters you are having. What are their different stats? Some characters are having high stats, some characters are having high HP, some are having defense, different elements, all of this thing, right? This is your data or your game data that you download whenever you are downloading or updating any game. This is your data. And this is another thing called machine learning agent or script. Usually each and every game will use either a different type of scripts or different type of agents. Some high-end gaming will probably use machine learning. That is a high-end approach. But for normal games, usually scripts are used. So what is the job of this script? The job of this script is to manipulate with your data. That means it is going to take care of your data. It is going to analyze your data and provide you certain outputs. What is even that? Let me go to the next slide and I'm going to explain. Let's just say your character is having 200 critical rate. Let's just say that is your stat. Now, whenever you are going to do the actual gameplay, the critical damage that you are going to output, that is not always going to be the same. All right. There are going to be multiple possibilities. Why? Because there are multiple Y values. We can say this X value as your stat. That means there are X value and Y value. And if you have understanding about basic math, you will easily understand that X value and Y value means there are two different things and we have to find a certain combination out of them. So let's just say you have 200 critical rate. It will possibly deliver you either 15% critical damage or 10% critical damage or 20% critical damage. There can be multiple possibilities. There is never one single possibility. Now, there can be a little bit of debate here because there are certain stats that will have the definite outcome. For example, attack stats. Attack stats will always be on the same. That means if you have 5,000 attack, you will always do, if you are doing 10,000 damage, you will most probably do always 10,000 damage with the 5,000 attack unless you change your attack. But in case of there are certain other stats too. For example, crit rate is one of the stats that the game companies keep applying. Precision is another stat. Accuracy is another stat. These sort of stats are kind of floating. What do I mean by that? That means they will never do the 100% application. Sometimes they will do more, sometimes they will less. And if they create this relationship between crit damage and the actual damage output, then the overall damage output is going to differ. And as you can see, there are actually two instances I am showing, but in actual reality the scenario is complex, way more complex. And I'm of course using, once again, thanking Ubisoft's Daniel Holden for this amazing talk that he did on the GDC channel. It was a 1 hour long talk. Feel free to watch that. It is an interesting thing. As I said that in my previous slide, I saw that there are actually 2 instances and 1 stat, but in actual reality there is not 1 stat. There is a many stats. There is a lot of stats in each and every character. Each and every character is having HP, attack, critical rate, defense, critical resist rate, precision, accuracy, a lot of them. And there can be more. The more the stats are, the more the complex the process will be for the agent or the script. So if a game is providing you more stats, that means the game has a stronger script and a better machine learning agent probably. And as you see that this is creating a lot of analysis between these stats and creating the perfect combination, and as a result it is generating 4 possible outputs, that if we combine these 3 different skills, there can be 4 possible instances, and in 4 possible instances your character might act in 4 different ways. Maybe your character is throwing a default, maybe your character is throwing a special skill, maybe your character is throwing an active skill. So it might actually be any one of these 4 things. So this is actually basically true for the autoplay thing. This slide specifically, it is true for the autoplay, but if you are doing manual play, then probably these 4 instances are not going to be arranged. But guess what? This combination of these different stats, especially if there are kind of a floating stats like critical rate and critical damage, they are going to always influence the overall damage output. And like I said that many stats are like accuracy, precision, they are never the accurate stats. So attack stat so far in most of the games are kind of solid and working accurately, but it might differ from game to game. So I hope the understanding was helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to support the content, support the channel, and I hope to see you guys soon in some other videos. Till then, stay awesome and peace out, my friends.